Good morning and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Roxy, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today is Roxy's ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands, the corrections and motivations we give her while we're working with her, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free to give the correction. The correction that we give is a tug and let go to the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Roxy's been fitted with her own personal training collar, and we'll show you how to properly use this during your one-on-one lesson. As you can see, Roxy is seated on Fred's left, which is where all our obedience training is done. And the first command they'll demonstrate is heeling, which is proper walking on the leash. And Fred and Roxy take off doing that now. The command you want to use for this is Roxy heel, and you just start walking and she'll fall right in line on your left-hand side. Now we've also gone ahead and incorporated our automatic sit into this, so anytime Fred stops his feet, Roxy will sit. There's an example there. That's important when you're heeling Roxy, that she walks nicely at your pace without trying to pull ahead of you or lag behind. If she did attempt to pull ahead or lag behind, say no, give a tug and let go correction to her training collar, repeat the command to heel, and then start walking again. Now the next command they're going to be demonstrating is our stay command, which is the hand and voice command. Fred will use the open flat of his left palm, an inch or so from Roxy's muzzle, and the one-word command to stay. He walks out to the end of the training leash. Now this is a great exercise to build up self-control in Roxy. You can start practicing this one at about a minute's time and work your way up in increments until you get to about 3 minutes. Now as Fred returns back to Roxy, he's going to walk all the way around her, providing an added distraction as he goes behind, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. She holds that sit stay throughout. He gives her a little praise and then heels her right out of it. You can see how she keeps her eyes right on Fred, focusing in on him and her obedience work. And he's going to show you a little more of the heel sit and stay. As he comes back around, he'll show you that stay one more time. Has her in a sit, gives her a stay, out to the end of that leash. And this time he'll give her a second to hold this position, and then he'll demonstrate our come or recall command instead of returning back to Roxy. He calls her in using her name. She comes right in, sits in front. Then we have a move called the finish. Fred heels her right around the back of him and gets her right back to his left-hand side heel position, and she sits. He'll demonstrate that recall one more time. She's in a sit. He gives her a stay after the end of the training leash. Gives her a second to hold it. And then calls her in. She gets right up, comes into him, sits in front. And then the finish right around the back of him. And right back to his left-hand side heel position, and she sits. Nicely done. That's a good time to remind you want to practice all your obedience commands with Roxy about 15 to 20 minutes a day. This helps to keep the commands fresh in her mind, and you can start practicing them inside or outside your home, and then just start incorporating them into your daily routine with her. Next up will be our down commands. The first is down from a heel position. Fred will use the open flat of his left palm straight down to the ground and the one-word firm command to down. He then gives her a stay and walks back out to the end of that leash. It's another great exercise to build up that self-control. You can start practicing this one at about 3 minutes time and work your way up in increments until you get to about 5 minutes. As Fred returns back to Roxy, he'll walk all the way around her just as he did on the sit stay and right back to that left-hand side heel position. She holds that down stay throughout, despite the distraction of the guy cutting his grass next door. And he heels her right out of it. Now he's going to show you that down again one more time when he comes back around. Now you see Roxy's doing very well, but it's always important to follow through with your commands. So if you give her a command and she does not respond, the first word out of your mouth is always going to be no, followed by a tug and let go correction to her training collar, and then repeat the command you gave her. Now there Fred gave her a down again and a stay, back out to the end of the leash. Gives her a second to hold it, and he'll demonstrate that come or recall command right out of the down position. Calls her in, she gets right up, comes into him, sits in front, And then the finish, he heels her right around the back of him and right back to that left-hand side heel position. And we'll give them a second to get lined up for our final command, which is down from a distance. This will be our down from a distance. You're going to have her in a sit, give her a stay, walk out to the end of your training leash. This is the only time we use our right hand to give the command, and Fred will drop her into a down from the end of the training leash. He then returns back to her once again, walking all the way around, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Alright, we've demonstrated for you our basic obedience commands that we've been working on with Roxy while she's been here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Roxy, and we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.